Hello, hello, and welcome to the show with no name. I'm Theonie Roussianos, and this is, got it right.
And over there, Palmer.
I get it right. So excited.
We'll get that right. And over there, Palmer. How are you going, Theonie?
Wonderful. How are you? I feel like I haven't seen you in a week.
Oh, well, you know, sort of, we talked every day still, but we actually haven't really caught up since. Wow, we'll have to fix that, won't we? I've got green in my tea. I'm actually drinking a green smoothie. And note to self, don't take a sip just before you go on camera because I feel like but I'm sure you would tell me.
I probably wouldn't, I probably wouldn't tell you. I never give you warning when I bring you up on live if you're sitting in the green room. So yeah. I warn everyone else, not you.
So the show with no name yet.
The show with no name yet. We still haven't got a name, but I'm kind of liking the feel of it. The show with no name gives you something to talk about. Why doesn't it have a name? Well, because we couldn't bloody think of one.
Well, what happened was it actually all happened so fast. It rolled on so damn quickly that we couldn't get Cherie's here. Hello, honey. Mwah. Good to see you.
Cherie.
So it was just something that we'd been planning in the background for quite some time, and then it was like right now is the time to do it, and we got this gigantic universal push to actually do it, and we thought, shit, we don't have a name, we can't start till we have a name, and then we thought, well, why can't we start with this show?
That's right. That's it, and then it'll evolve into whatever it evolves into. Let it morph, but it's morphing into the show with no name,
which is the purpose.
The purpose. So the purpose is our aim is to learn to speak properly. Our aim is to help not-for-profits, charity organisations, and people doing community fundraising and also just amazing things in their own communities to help them raise their own brand awareness, also awareness for their campaigns, and where appropriate, of course. Sometimes they're about raising money for a specific cause. So we just want to get everybody's purpose out there because you know what? You don't know who needs to hear your message. You just never know who you're going to help out there by sharing what it is that you do. Even if you feel the only person you're making a difference to is your next door neighbour, it's not necessarily the case.
It's not, and it's something I think that the more we can help people get the word out there, and the more that we can help people get exposure to the good stuff that they are doing or have done, it is the more the community grows and develops and evolves and becomes more resilient. So if you are watching this, we'd really love you to share. This would be fantastic, and also invite your friends to watch because they might be inspired. This is a beautiful segue into the lovely lady that we're speaking to today. We've actually got Lisa Monks. Now, she did the cancer ride on May the 18th. So this is past the fact. Now, this is the first time we've actually spoken to somebody about their experiences in contributing to a massive, massive effort in fundraising. The charity organisation Couch was raised funds to build and operate the wellness centre to assist in the cancer treatment recovery on land donated by the Woodford family. Now, I've got a little bit of a bio here about what Lisa said when she first heard about this ride. She wanted in, and she was 50 in May, so happy 50th for May, and I was 55 in May, so I've got a few years on you, but it's all about you today. To go with that crazy number, she wanted to do something that gives back to the community, but something that would push her, something that would push her body to the absolute physical limits and really challenge her mental strength. Cycling, cop this, people, 1,900 kilometres over 9 days. She actually did it from the 18th of May to the 26th of May, and she says she must be certifiably crazy. Lisa, where are you?
She's coming. Lisa's coming. Crazy good. Absolutely certifiably crazy good is what I say you must be.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Like I think when I agreed to do the ride, I really had no comprehension what I was in for at all. Oh gosh, put these back on. I just thought it was it sounded like an amazing event to be involved in. The cause is wonderful. It's for a local cause. The Couch Cancer, it's the Couch Cancer Ride, but it's for a cause called Couch, and it was to raise money for a cancer wellness centre here in Cairns. And everybody, no matter who you talk to, is touched by cancer in some way, shape, or form. And I just wanted to give something back. But as I said, I really didn't give a great deal of thought when I initially put my hand up and said, yay, I'd love to do it. Until I started creating some video for the Facebook page on the itinerary. And I was creating video and I was like, oh my goodness, we're doing what? We're writing.
I love it.
I was like, oh, I better start training.
I'm absolutely inspired, Lisa, because we were, Theonie and I are walking for motor neuron disease, and we when we go live, when we do our morning walks, and one morning Theonie said, well, we should walk, or one of us said, let's do a walk, like a longer walk, because we're doing 1,000 kilometres by the end of the year. Let's do it in condensed. And then, I think I came up with that, and then Theonie said, yeah, let's walk to Broken Hill. And I'm going, yeah, why not? Like, seriously? How hard can that be?
The best laid out plans are the ones that you haven't thought through yet.
Absolutely. And you know what? I wasn't involved at the very beginning stages, but that's exactly how, apparently from the stories, how this all went about. The whole ride came about with a conversation in a pub one night between some really good friends. I wasn't there. I only found out about it much later. And they came up with this crazy, crazy idea to ride 1,900 kilometres from Buderim down in the Sunshine Coast back up here to Cairns in tropical North Queensland. And then they went about to make it happen. And a big shout out to Michael and Janine Bowmaker, who were the heroes behind it, the instigators of it, because without them, we wouldn't have done it. And we would not have raised the crazy amount of money that we actually did end up raising. So
what training, were you a cyclist before you started this, or?
Yeah, no, I've done a fair bit of cycling. Although having said that, I mean, I've done a couple of Ironman events, half Ironman events, which is obviously training for the cycling of that it's 90-kilometre rides. But I've not done anything of this magnitude before. But I've been riding, I think, since probably about 2011. About 2011. No, 2012 actually. I started riding because 2012 was the first time I did a half Ironman, and that was another crazy thing. 6 months out, I decided I wanted to do a half Ironman, and just hadn't ridden a bike since I was at school. Actually.
Oh wow!
Just about training to learn again how to swim, to ride, and to run. So I did that. So I did a couple of years of riding, and then I had a break for nearly 4 years. So when I decided to do this ride, I literally hadn't hopped on a bike or maybe you've done 1 or 2 rides in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Wow. So Adaire, I think this sounds to me like we're okay. I was wondering about our walk to Broken Hill, or whether we do a Camino, whatever it is we're going to do. I've been walking 7 years, so I should be fine.
You've had plenty of practice at it, but
going back to your training, I was doing leading into it. We tried to ride every day. On the weekends was a lung ride, and tried to fit in towards the latter part. I was a late starter with my training. I only literally had a couple of months training.
Wow.
And so like on your weekends would be our long ride. So we'd do like 100, 130 kilometres on a weekend. But during the weekdays, we've obviously all had, work commitments, family commitments, etc. So it would be anywhere between a 30-kilometre ride to a 50, 60, 70-kilometre ride every day during the week, or whenever you could fit it in. Once I realised the magnitude of what lay ahead of me, I was like, I need to up my riding game and get on the bike a little bit more. And it was tough. I got to say, it was a really tough ride.
So mentally, what does that kind of thing?
I needed probably another good 2 months training. So
right. Mentally, what does this kind of ride do for you? I mean, you're talking 1,900 Ks in 9 days. That's
It's like
Crazy.
going into it, I was like freaking out. I was like, how on earth am I going to be able to do this? Now, I won't lie. I certainly didn't complete whole 1,900 kilometers. No way. That was the distance in totality from A to B. And everyone did their absolute best. You know, there were days when, like, the first day was my biggest worry. I didn't think that I was going to get over the range from Buderim. Because we went inland. We didn't go up the coastal road. We went inland. So we had to cross the Great Dividing Range and get over this. For anybody who knows me as a rider, knows that I'll have to say, I'm pretty damn strong when I'm just normal riding, especially if I've been training a while. I'm pretty strong. You get me on a hill and I go from a pretty strong rider to someone who will end up at the back of the pack and left behind in the distance.
Yeah, that's like me riding up a driveway.
I'm not good on hills. And I knew this going into it. It's been with me all of my riding time, even when I was doing Ironman. Our course is a hilly course, and I knew that's my nemesis. It's, you know, the hills. And the first day was the day that I was completely worried about, because we had to go over this mountain range. I didn't know about all the other hills ahead of me. I thought it was going to be a pretty nice, fairly flat ride from there on. How demented I was to think of that, because that wasn't the case at all.
It's probably not a bad thing, Lisa.
Well, it helps me getting over that hill because I was actually going to when we got to that range, I said, I'm going to put my bike in the back of the support vehicle, and I'm going to get them to take me over the hill, because I don't want to be smashed for the rest of the ride going forward. Because we had, we've got 8 days ahead of us. This was day one. And, but, I did it. I got over it. I actually pushed and I got over it. It hurt the hell. And we got to, so we left Buderim early in the morning, and we got to Ban Springs, or just before Ban Springs, actually. I think it was about 20 kilometres or so before a place called Ban Springs. We camped out in the middle of the nowhere. And I think it was like 170-something kilometres that day. And got in just before dusk, before the sun went down, and we were all absolutely shattered, but totally elated, because I was so proud that I actually got over that goddamn hill. Yeah. And we made it. And there was a few days where, I struggled, as a few other people did, but we made it. Yeah. I injured my knee on the 7th day. I knew it was coming from about day 6, but on the 7th day is when I knew that I got on the bike. I did about 18 kilometers, and I knew that I wasn't going to be able to finish that day, because and it's still recovering, although it's much better now. So it's a long way to ride, but everyone did amazing. The group that we rode with was just phenomenal. It was just, everyone was so inspiring. There was 3 ladies and 7 gentlemen in the group. Some were very, very, very good riders, have had a lot of experience. And us 3 ladies were probably the least experienced of the lot. But you know what? I think we did us proud. We did a good job. We gave it our best. Let's just say that. We really tried. And there were tears, let me tell you. There were tears. There were days that I didn't think that I was going to make the next hill in front of me or be able to keep up with the pack, especially when I was hurting. And your bottom does hurt. It's a long way.
That was my next question, because I could imagine, like, I had a little old pushy for a while, and I would just ride around and do like letterbox drops and things like that for a business I was doing, which started me on this path. But I would be on there for maybe an hour, and I get off and I go, my bum is so sore, and the front of my bum is even sore.
I was just going to say, it's not just the bum, let's be honest.
There was tubes of cream used on the ride. Cream for that sort of ride, and there's special cream to use.
So there's no amount of gel padding is actually going to stop that. I guess. The cycle pants that you wear, they're completely padded, but it's still not enough. And going into it, you really can't prepare yourself for that amount of time in the saddle, because you don't train to that. You're never in the saddle for that long. There were days where we were riding 8-9 hours in the saddle. Yeah.
And you would have, like, every 40-50 kilometers, we'd stop for a break, have a nutrition break, drink and a snack. and then carry on. We'd have a lunch break, then afternoon breaks, etc. So you're off on and off throughout the day, but still you're in the saddle for the majority of the day. And yeah, it's painful. And one day I can recall, and I think it was on day 7. It was the day that my knee really started playing up. And I can remember at the end of the day, I've got a photo of it. I actually haven't posted it anywhere. Someone took a photo of it. I hopped off my bike. I came in last because that's the day that I was really struggling with my knee, and I just so I got off the bike, and as soon as I put my foot down on the ground, a pain went up my backside and up my back like I have never, ever experienced in my life. It was like someone just had a hot rod straight up my backside. And it brought just a flood of tears without even thinking about it. It was just automatic. It was just this flood of tears that came out, and I was like, I was in so much pain, but it was only very briefly. It was I think my sciatic nerve must have released or something. There was a nerve triggered somewhere, and oh my goodness, the pain. And but it was only it lasted probably for about 5-10 minutes. Or the initial pain lasted like pretty much instantaneously, and then it kind of wore off, and then there was like a residual pain for about 5-10 minutes, and then it disappeared. But your bottom hurt.
Well, do you think anything can prepare you for that? I remember my first RPM class, and I was thinking after that, I'm never riding a bike again. I did.
It wasn't even a real bike.
It wasn't even a real bike. That was a bloody RPM class.
Or anything. That's funny. Lisa, would you do it again?
Yes, I would. And the ride this year was the inaugural ride. As I said, everybody who was in the ride has in some way, shape or form been touched by cancer, and that was one of their driving motivations to do it, especially Janine and Michael. And me, my father passed away from cancer. So it was like, and that's still the reason. That reason is still there. That core there, we need all the help that we can get to raise funds to be able to, build facilities to help people who are struggling and are fighting cancer. And and next year they're going to do it again, but it's a shorter distance, and it's going to be a much more enjoyable ride, I think, because literally on this ride we would ride from dawn till dusk, have something to eat, and everyone would be probably crashed out by 7:30, 8 o'clock. It was ridiculous. So this year it's going to be, or next year should I say, apparently it's going to be a little bit shorter, a lot more fun. We'll be able to enjoy our evenings a bit more. It'll be good. And, we'll just continue raising money for the Wellness Centre. And I'm absolutely stoked to say that last Wednesday, they turned the sod on the site where the Wellness Centre is going to be built. So they put the shovel into the ground, and now they're away with starting to build the Cairns Wellness Centre, Couch Cairns Wellness Centre. So that was so amazing to see that. All the efforts of our efforts, as well as all those people who have gone before us raising money to be able to contribute to make it happen.
Adaire, I need to ask you a technical question. I've got an echo.
Yeah, I had an echo as well, but it's gone now.
Okay, it's gone now too.
Yeah, I think it was just.
It's all good. Now, I just want to say we just had a few comments here. We've got David Burrows all the way from California tuning in.
Hey, David, how you doing? He's got the community TV show over there.
And Cherie saying it's very inspiring. And now Ros Boundy. Hi, Ros. We love having you here. Thank you for joining us. She's everywhere we are. I'm lurking in the background, had a phone call. That's fine. You're allowed. And Cherie's talking fantastic. So it's about your efforts and the Wellness Centre. Now, I did want to ask about the Wellness Centre. What's the aim with that, as far as, how many people are they hoping to be able to help, I don't know what the goal is, whether it's weekly, annually, whatever their goals are.
Well, I don't know the amount of people that it will cater to in such like how many. But basically, what the Wellness Centre is, it's not going to be a place where people have their cancer treatment. there's already a facility that has been set up in Cairns, which was also funded by Couch, because up until fairly recent years, we didn't have any cancer treatment facilities in Cairns whatsoever. And then the Liz Plummer Cancer Centre was built based on the funds that were raised by Couch. And so people in Cairns can now, if they're having cancer treatments, can be treated here in Cairns instead of having to go all the way to Townsville. So that is where they get the cancer treatments. The wellness centre is where they can come, where their carers can come, where family can come, either whilst they're doing treatment or after the fact. There's going to be all alternate type healing. You're going to have all your different, it's very much it's a wellness centre. It's where it's a calm environment where they can get support and from the community, any sort of help that they might need. And it's just going to be a really beautiful space. So
that sounds
it's
awesome.
Just to help their ongoing treatment and recovery process.
I love
and
that.
And it's in a beautiful area. It's surrounded by like rainforest, so it's going to be very tranquil.
Oh, nice.
A bit like a retreat, perhaps.
And sorry?
I have this vision of perhaps a bit like a retreat for people who need that re-nourishing and
before they go home and back to reality.
No, well, it's
normality.
Also going to be whilst they are back in reality. It's going to be a place where they can come at any time post their treatment. And as I said, not just for the cancer sufferers, but also for the carers, the families, all those that are just as affected when a family member or a friend is diagnosed and having to go through the whole cancer fight and treatment process. There's a whole level of, rippling effect when that happens. Yeah. And so this facility is going to cater for everybody in that whole circle of who is affected.
So can I ask Lisa? We've got the reverb again. Can you hear that?
No, I can't hear it. What is it that you're hearing?
And it's got the echo. I'm just going to drop. Hang on. No, it's gone now. It's the echo gremlin.
It's the gremlins. Look, quite often when it comes to illness, cancer, whatever, it's everybody focuses on the person who's sick, and so they should. The person who's going through the cancer is suffering immensely. A lot of the times the people around them are forgotten, and their carers, whether it be their spouse, their parents, their siblings, their children, whoever it is that is around them, are forgotten, and they push on. They're the ones carrying a lot of the load in a different way to the patient, of course. So having somewhere like this for them to be able to go as well and get some sort of reprieve it's amazing.
No, it's going. Yeah, it really will be. I'm not too sure when the date of completion, but it is early next year. I think, I want to say April or May next year, but I could be wrong. It's going to be next year at some point that it will be completed. But yeah, no, it'll be definitely a wonderful addition to the community to have that facility here. And what we did was, obviously our funds are just a tiny drop in the ocean of the funds that have raised to date by many people who have gone before us to help raise money. It's been very much a massive community involvement to get it to this stage, and obviously local government, council, etc. So it's really wonderful. But with regards to our particular ride, I said that that a good deal of money was raised, but I don't think I said how much.
And it
was 82,000. We had the target was 50. The goal was 50,000, and at the end of the day, once all was done and dusted, it ended up being, I think, 82,000.
Oh.
Congratulations!
Congratulations for a 9-day ride. So yeah, no, it was really good, and that's thanks to everybody out there in the community who supported everybody. To make it happen. It was an amazing feat. We just rode, we just actually did the riding. It was the rest of the community and everybody who supported, who put their their hands in their pockets and donated. So, you know, thank you to everybody out there, and thank you to my friends and family who supported me and donated.
Cherie has commented saying that she has a friend currently fighting stage 5 cancer, and his daughters are really struggling. Their mum is also fighting breast cancer. So having something like that to rejuvenate their hearts and souls would be incredible.
Yeah, no, and that's exactly it's going to be the purpose of this space. It's going to be a beautiful space. It's actually modelled on another facility down in Buderim. Now that's where we started at. Oh my goodness, it's a mind blank. The Buderim Cancer Wellness Centre. Oh, there's another name for it. Oh, sorry guys, I've totally forgotten the name of it. But and they're going to be assisting with the modelling of the facility here in Cairns based on their expertise, because it's very, very successful down there. And so when we started the ride, that's where we spent one night there. And it really is a beautiful space. You can actually feel it as soon as you're in there. It's a beautiful space. So I can just imagine that ours will be just as wonderful, and will really help a lot of people out there. So well done to Cairns for having the mind to the vision to be able to do something like this. And it is the vision of Charlie and Pip Woodward. Charlie passed away last year, bless his soul, and it's very sad that he wasn't able to be here to see the sod turned last week, but he was definitely with us there. And to the Woodward family who donated the land for the wellness centre to be on, so thankful that they have provided the community with such a wonderful space that's going to turn into a much needed facility for the community.
It's amazing to see people stepping up and doing things that are bigger than themselves. I just love these stories.
Yeah. So,
and again, that echoes back.
I wonder if we'll get it watch it back. It might just be us. Because
I'm going to refresh again, but we're just about out of time, so I'll drop out and come. Oh, hang on.
I can't hear it now. Don't go.
Can I just get us to do the village people yay?
Yay. Let me change our view. Let me go like that. So yeah.
Okay, yay. See yay behind me? Yay.
Cherie said she could hear the echo. It's not there now. It'll go away in a minute for you, Cherie, because she.
Oh dear, I love technology, and when it works, I love it even more.
It's like you can't do anything. You're live. That's the beauty of live. It shows you in all your vulnerabilities. So that's
right.
That's raw and real. So
it is raw and real. That's why I wear sleeves when I do the yay, because otherwise I'd fly away. Oh dear. Lisa, you've done an amazing, so inspiring. And I wish we had a bit more time to talk to you about logistics and stuff like that, because it's the sorts of things that we're going to have to look at when we do what we end up doing. But
she said when. Did you hear that? She said when we do.
It's happening.
I want to give a big shout out because, there was 10 of us that rode, but there was a massive crew behind us that got us there. We had a wonderful, wonderful support crew. Every day we had a car directly behind us protecting us and a car directly in front of us. So, there was a lot of big, big road trains on that inland road.
Yeah, wouldn't it?
And we would get to camp and we would have our meals made for us. We would have people washing our clothes, so we had clean clothes the next day. We had a wonderful person that would be riding it directly in front of us and set up camp for our drink stops. So many people to shout out. I can't name them all because obviously, as you said, we're out of time. But seriously, if you see this, you know who you are. You are loved and respected and thanked so much. Without you guys, we would never, ever, ever have been able to do the ride that we actually did and complete it. So thank you.
Yeah.
And I think Cherie sums this up the best. It's a very inspiring live, even though we have the echoes. I think she's saying still a very inspiring live. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, Cherie. We appreciate you as well.
Yes, thank you, honey. Yeah. So awesome stuff. Thank you so much, Lisa, for coming and sharing your story, because we've been talking to people about things that are coming up. And now it's actually really cool to talk about the experiences of someone who's been through the grill, through the mill. And actually come out the other side.
I know you wanted to touch base while I was actually on the ride, but we, for the most part, a lot of the times we were out in the middle of nowhere and had no reception at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was absolutely challenged. I mean, like, and you would appreciate this Adaire in a way that just was going, I've got no communication. Especially at the end of the day, when I would want to upload photos to the Facebook page, the Couch Cancer Ride Facebook page, there were many times I wasn't able to do it, or would take literally a couple of hours for it to all go through. And I was like, oh, please, give me some communication.
I would feel like my lips had been stapled shut, I reckon.
People would send out a search crew wondering, where's Adaire?
When I got back, like, we haven't seen you. Like, I went radio silence, and I think that's pretty much the first time people haven't seen me on Facebook for that amount of time before. Yeah. I mean, there was just no communication from me. I focused on the page, and I wasn't doing anything on my pages or whatever. I was just, it was kind of radio silence, just getting done what you could get done when you could get it done, and then sleeping or riding the rest of the
time. Oh, fantastic.
Thank you so much for joining us, Lee. So would love to keep in touch and down the track bring you back to see more of the wonderful things that Couch are doing and the ride. I'd like to hear more about your next ride. Now, when they said that the next ride's going to be fun, I'm hoping it's going to be coastal for you.
It is going to be coastal. It's going to be up the coast, and it. I think it would, it won't be as brutal. I mean, for those that are watching, some of the days were over 200 kilometres a day, and that was backed up by many day in, day out, upwards of 200 and 200 plus kilometres a day. As I said, I didn't always complete the whole day, but did my absolute best. But yeah, the next ride isn't going to be as brutal and as long. So. But we are very close. So the beauty of it is, with it being a shorter ride, that it will facilitate more people being able to join the ride.
Yeah.
Because 9 days is a long time to take out of your working calendar and commit to something like that.
It is. Thank you so much for joining us. You're an inspiration. You, and not only you, obviously everybody else who went along with the ride, all the crew behind the scenes. It takes a village to pull these things off.
Absolutely. As I said, I think we had the easiest part, really. We just were on the bikes and riding. Everybody else, made it all happen.
And getting it out there, because people don't donate if they don't know what you're doing and why you're doing it. So even the people working behind the scenes to publicise everything and get it all out there, it takes a massive team of people. So well done to all of you. Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you so much for sharing your story. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, right. Thank you. I'll just pop you back into the lobby. And so what an amazingly inspirational woman. I keep thinking, walk to Broken Hill, Camino, can we do it? And then you hear stories like that. And I know my legs feel like lead. I did a ride just with a group of friends about a year and a half ago, and I haven't jumped on a bike since. But that was from West Beach to North Haven, I think it was. Can't even remember where we went. But then on the way back, we got to stop at every pub on the way home, and my legs felt like lead just on that. And that's just because I hadn't ridden before that since primary school. So I'm thinking, the ride that this team did is just absolutely crazy good.
Phenomenal. Yeah. That's awesome. Thank you for joining us, everybody, for the show with no name yet. We've got a stellar lineup coming over the next couple of months of people that are doing some amazing things in the community to help the community, and in the process helping themselves develop and grow and evolve into better human beings. So we win all round.
And if you've got a project you're working on, whether you're community fundraising, doing something for your own community, or part of a not-for-profit charity organisation, get in touch with us because we'd love to speak with you.
We would. We'll see you next Thursday.
We'll see you next time. I'm Theonie Roussianos.
And I'm Adaire Palmer.
And we'll see you next week on the show with no name.
Bye.